Hi, everybody. It's Christine with Revive and Pia, and I have your Monday motivation message for you. I was thinking today it would be a nice topic to talk about apologizing. It actually came up at the dinner table today. I was very proud of my son, actually. My oldest son came up just, in conversation at the dinner table and looked at me and said, Mom, I just really wanted to say I'm sorry about before because, maybe half an hour before dinner, he said something really, inappropriate, like just that sort of teenage talk back, which was uncalled for. And, I don't want to be raising bratty kids that are just, saying things they shouldn't say. Of course, they all are going to have those mistakes and that's going to happen. But for me, it takes such a big person to say you're sorry. And, he's not even 13 yet. And here he is stepping up and saying, Mom, I'm sorry. And for me, just taking ownership of something that you did that hurt another person or that was inappropriate or whatever that you need to apologize for is huge. I actually said to him, I'm really proud of you. Thank you for the apology and I accepted. But more importantly, the fact that you were able to do that without being prompted or without me having to come to you or whatever, and that you took that moment to, check in with your behavior, realize that it wasn't appropriate, put the ego aside because ego gets in the way for so many people, right? When we're talking about apologizing. And just that was such a grown up thing for him to do. And even grown ups have so much trouble sometimes stepping up and taking responsibility. And I have to say, the younger we can, tell these children and teach them to be this sort of wonderful person with strong characteristics that are going to take responsibility and learn to apologize. And I have to mention as well, I said to my son, you get that from your father, because one of the things I love most about my husband is he's always been able to say sorry. And that is so important, right? Especially, let's say you've had a fight or something and you're just feeling, it's just such I don't know, a warm validation, I guess, that, at least he cares enough to come up and own it and say he's sorry. Sometimes I'm not saying it's only his fault. There, with any situation, there's sometimes, more than one person to blame. And it's just about taking responsibility for your own actions. And it really means so much when somebody can, put their own, selfishness or ego or whatever aside and really look at how it's affected the other person and take ownership. So an apology goes a long way. And I've said that in the past because I know, for example, the last 4 years have been very trying. For a lot of people, the whole world has been kind of crazy the last 4 years, a lot of division. A lot of people said things they probably shouldn't have said or hurt people out of fear. And, there is always room for an apology, whether it's in the heat of the moment, if you can find it in you, if you need to walk away, take a breath, a beat, a day, and come back and apologize. And even if it's 3 or 4 years later, if you want to come up and apologize and own what you did to hurt somebody, and then just let it go, put it past you. Even if your relationship's never the same as it was before, and it doesn't have to be, right? It can grow in a different direction. It can separate, but you've done what you needed to do by owning it. So remember that an apology goes a long way. Forgiveness is a totally other topic, whether or not you choose to forgive the person. But you, as the person who has hurt somebody, I really always recommend just take that moment, see your responsibility in what's happened, check the ego out to the side, realize we all make mistakes. It's going to happen. We're not perfect. We're just trying to have this human experience. Own it and then apologize, and then you can just let it go. And whether or not they let it go or forgive you, that's up to them, right? So from my heart to yours, I really hope that you take a moment to reflect and check in with things that you've done that might be needing to say you're sorry for, and find that space in your heart to apologize. And have a good week. We'll talk to you next time.